You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I have a comings and goings update for you for the Peacock soap. So Steve Burton is out as Detective Harris Michaels, the former Navy SEAL and ex-assassin. But will his exit be in the form of a dirt nap? And will someone else follow him out the door at Days of Our Lives? Maybe. Let's unpack this big casting news, talk about what's next and who might also go. But be sure to click subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any Days of Our Lives news and spoilers. So just off the cuff, if you don't know how Steve Burton wound up on Days of Our Lives, it's an interesting tale, and this is context for Burton news for you. So it was driven by the pandemic and the COVID crisis and the rules surrounding it. So Steve Burton was working over on General Hospital, where he had been off and on for decades. And he exited at GH because they wouldn't approve his request for a religious exemption to their vaccine mandate. If you didn't know it, General Hospital was the only one of the 4 soaps to implement a vaccine mandate. And he left along with another front burner actor and several crew members who had been on the show for decades because the soap refused to accommodate any exemption request. And there are a couple of lawsuits still brewing over that mandate enforcement at the soap. So Burton was out and he landed over at Days of Our Lives on a 1-year contract with his old coworker from General Hospital. If you didn't know it, Ron Carlivati, who of course is the showrunner now at Days, he used to be the head writer over at GH when Burton was there playing mob hitman Jason Morgan. So Burton first debuted as Harris Michaels way back in 1988 for I think like a dozen episodes as a high schooler who was tormenting Eve Donovan, who was also in high school at the time. And then they decided to revive his character for Beyond Salem Chapter 2, and he debuted for the streaming series in summer 2022 as a Navy SEAL, brainwashed by Megan Hathaway to be her personal killing machine. And then, to a lot of people's surprise, they brought Harris over to the mothership show, Days of Our Lives, with his first episode airing on NBC Peacock, March of 2023. And now we've got this stunning update about Harris Michaels, some interesting info about the actor's personal life, and some questions about who else might be out at Days of Our Lives. So about the same time that Burton made his on-screen debut as Harris, his personal life was in really bad shape. He had just filed for divorce from his wife, Cherie Burton, after more than 2 decades of marriage. This came after she revealed on social media that she was pregnant with child number 4, and fans started congratulating Steve Burton, but then he had to speak up and say, "Oh, yeah, that's not my kid." So then he filed papers, made the split official, and then it was lingering for the past 2 years. It's a very soap-worthy sort of twist in his life. So their divorce was finalized very recently, and then a few days later, Steve Burton revealed that he had wrapped his run on Days of Our Lives, saying he had just finished shooting final scenes. As 2023 ended, Steve Burton stated, "Well, I just shot my final scenes here on Days of Our Lives, and I just want to say thank you so much to the cast, to the crew, to Days. It's been amazing. I can't believe it's been a year already, so thank you so much to the fans. I'm always so full of gratitude." So here's what's really wild about this. Just a couple of days later, on January 4th, at the tail end of the General Hospital's 60th anniversary primetime special, Steve Burton confirmed that he was back to the ABC soap as his former character, Jason Morgan. So if you are a Steve Burton fan and want to see more, GH is where he will be soon, but he's also going to be appearing on both soaps simultaneously. We expect his first appearance on the ABC Sudzer to come in time for February sweeps because they only shoot a month ahead, and he began filming in January just as soon as he got done at Days, which to me indicates that he was in contract talks to come back to General Hospital as the final days of his Days contract were ticking down. No word if Days offered him a renewal and he walked away from it for General Hospital, which does pay more, or, maybe they already told him they weren't going to renew, or maybe it was firm from the outset that it's 1 year and done. So that's the kind of thing we probably won't ever know unless he decides to just spontaneously talk about it. So what about his Days exit? So February sweeps, we're going to see him over on General Hospital. And then because Burton wrapped up at Days in late December and they shoot like 6 to 7 months ahead from tape to air, that means we could be seeing him for many more months to come, like up to like June, maybe even July. So he will be on both soaps for February, March, April, May, June, like 6 months. So it's wild. So of note is in the big Day of Days promo that came out a couple of months ago, Harris Michaels was shot and Ava Vitale was there, horrified to see him go down. It almost looked like it was on the docks, but it might have been like on the loading dock behind the bistro, which I don't remember. I don't think we'd ever seen that before. So during the Day of Days promo, when it first came out, it looked to me like he was shot on the docks, but I think it's a different kind of dock, not a water dock, a warehouse loading dock. So no doubt this is all part of the big drug storyline on Days. So the big question I have is whether Ava Vitale will also exit when Harris does. The drug storyline is going on now. So it seems like Harris could be shot sooner rather than later, but he may survive, recover, and then have another arc before his exit later this year. So will Days keep Tamara Braun as Ava Vitale after Steve Burton's exit as Harris Michaels is what I wonder. Even though Harris and Ava have split, clearly they're still love interest. She's not really seeing Stefan and she's got no other hot prospects on the soap opera. And her primary storyline, running drugs for Clyde at the bistro, should wrap hopefully before too long. I suspect we could get a February sweeps wrap up. But, they could drag their feet till, I don't know, May sweeps. Hopefully not, though. Time will tell. I do worry they might not have a place for Ava once Harris is done and exits. So the big question is whether he'll die from the shooting and the shooting comes later than we expected, or he'll leave town for another reason. So he has been tormented for some time about all the killing he engaged in while brainwashed by Megan. So it's foreseeable he could leave town on a soul-searching journey and try to make amends for his bad deeds somehow, something like that. Or the bullet could take him out, which, as you know, on Days, death is rarely a permanent condition. So we'll see. I will also say I absolutely enjoyed Steve Burton as Harris Michaels. I didn't watch back when he was on like in 88. I was a kid. So, but I like him a whole lot too, maybe even better as Jason Morgan over on General Hospital. If you've never watched the ABC soap, Tamara Braun, who plays Ava, was also Burton's scene partner over there too. She played Carly Spencer to his Jason for years before she left the soap and the role was recast. And as for Ava Vitale, we know Days is always a revolving door of cast members in and out. So even if she leaves when Harris does, whether he dies or not, that doesn't mean she's necessarily gone for good. She's still got her son, Trip Johnson, to worry about after all. But Burton, for now, at least, is done and back on contract over on General Hospital. In one last comings and goings note, spoilers say there are 2 characters that are supposed to be off screen for a while. It's unclear who they are. It could be like Abe and Paulina while she's seeking treatment for her medical condition, or because she wants to go see Lonnie and the twins because of her medical condition. It could be John and Patch, leaving to go dig up more dirt on creepy Constantine. It's kind of hard to speculate with a casting spoiler that's so vague. So keep your eye out and see what happens. See if somebody roams out of town. I'll keep my eye out and I'll let you guys know too. And look for any scenes of possible exits from Days. All right, that is it for this Days of Our Lives Comings and Goings update. Please click subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any of our updates, news, and spoilers. And be sure to come back often because as always, we are here with Days of Our Lives, spoilers and news, talking soaps 7 days a week. And of course, I'm your host, Belinda from Soap Dirt. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast. because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.